Hey everybody, Bob VMware here. Welcome to the Power Connection broadcast. I'm here with Margaret Buj from UK, England. Say hello, Margaret.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. So this is the Power Connection broadcast. We are live across many platforms, but mostly on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, but LinkedIn is the main one we focus on. And today we're going to talk about how to deal with job searching during the COVID-19 crisis. So, and a lot of people are struggling with this because, they're thinking about transition, they're thinking about where they want to go, they're thinking about their careers now. And, the people are still hiring and people still need to work. So it's really important for, getting someone like Margaret, who is an expert in this, to give her insights, which is going to be great. Now, those of you who are joining us, a couple of housekeeping here, a couple of logistics here. Number one, if you're joining us, say hello. Christopher's already said hello. That's great. If you like what you're hearing, you can like, tap, clap, heart, light bulb, all that kind of stuff. You can tag people during the conversation. We want to engage with you. So, this is a chance for you to leverage Margaret's expertise and ask her questions about job searching and getting that next gig for yourself. And similarly, you can ask me stuff too, because I also have experience in career searching and personal branding and networking and leadership and all that kind of stuff. So we are here to help you get to that next thing that you want to do. So really, please join in. Let us also know where you're from. Are you from Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, North America, South America? Let us know in the comments below. All right. So please do that. And the other thing is, right now, I'm moving my Power Connection chats to Mondays and Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today I'm with Margaret. On Wednesday I'm with Michelle Romanow, who's a dragon from Dragon's Den, which is known as the kind of Canadian Shark Tank. So we're talking to her about how businesses thrive while staying at home. And so she's going to talk about that. And that's the time we have now, Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you know other people that want to join us, let us know, and you can set me up to interview them, any influencers or speakers or experts in their field. So let's get going. And Margaret, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here and look forward to our discussion.
Yeah, so let's start off actually why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and kind of your story and your journey, kind of how you got to be where you are. And then once we get a little bit to know you a little better, then we'll kind of dive into the topic of the day.
Absolutely. So my name is Margaret Buj. I am an interview coach and recruiter with 14, 15 years of professional experience. And in terms of recruitment, I've recruited for some global organizations in the technology and e-commerce space, including Microsoft, Cisco systems. I spent 4 years at Expedia. I spent 3 years at VMware. And I've been contracting for the last few years, again, working for technology companies, both startups, mid-sized organizations, and also large global corporations. And during that time, I have recruited really internationally. I think I've worked on positions in every single country in Europe, certainly. I've done quite a lot of recruitment in the US, so I have experience on the US market as well, having closed probably 20 positions in the US in the last few years. And I've even done a tiny bit of recruitment in Africa and in Asia. So very international recruitment experience. I've interviewed thousands of people at different levels. During that time, I recruited for all corporate functions, and not just corporate functions, so technical and non-technical positions, but also as an interview coach, which is something I've been doing for 13 and a half years. Again, I worked with thousands of people around the world to help them get the jobs they wanted, get the promotions they wanted, and negotiate salaries that they wanted. So during that time, I've worked with people in private and public sector, as in doctors and nurses and teachers, and local government and central government, NGOs, etc. So I had a really pretty wide experience of working with people, and again, very internationally. While of course a lot of my clients are in Europe, I've had clients in Africa, I've had clients in the Middle East, I've had actually a few clients in the US as well. So again, I have a pretty international experience, and hopefully I can share some of my expertise.
That's great.
Of course, no
Awesome.
one's expert in COVID-19, right? So
yeah, well, we're all learning as we go along. It's like being a parent for the first time. How do I navigate this thing? It's so surreal. Looks like we have a lot of people joining us. Margaret is here. She's an expert in recruiting, career searching, job searching. So she's going to share her expertise here. Christopher says hi from Toronto. Kathy says hello. Abdullah from London say hello. Elizabeth also from London. These are probably your friends who are coming in here. All these London people. Beth from Buffalo. Kathy's from Boston. Okay, so people are joining in. We want you to ask questions, guys. So make sure you ask questions because this is the time to do it. How are things going for you? Like, personally, we're all at home. How are you coping?
You know what? I think I'm coping pretty well, but it's getting to the point that it just feels like in that movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It starts to feel similar. I mean, I live on my own, which I think maybe helps. I don't have children to homeschool. But at the same time, it's challenging. I think it's challenging to everyone because we all come into terms with this new reality. I remember coming back from holidays from vacation in February. It was starting, you could hear about COVID in Europe, but it wasn't there yet. I honestly didn't expect anything like that. Even in March, even early in March, I was still out and about and meeting people, and it just no one actually expected that half of the, more than half of the world will go into complete lockdown. So, I'm trying to keep a routine. So I'm exercising almost every single day.
Are you? Wow.
Yeah, almost every single day, 6 days a week.
Good for you.
I'm trying to eat healthy, try not to drink.
I'm so bad at that. I'm eating terribly. I mean, man, it's so bad. I'm exercising. My kids are exercising. They're like, Daddy, come exercise with us. And I have work to do. I get so overwhelmed. So like, oh man, good for you. Good for you.
I mean, it's really hard, but I think it's good to keep some kind of routine. So like I've got parks close to me, so I go for a walk, like a 5-mile walk, maybe every 2, 3, 4 times a week. On top of the working out, I'm trying not to look at the media too much because I think anxiety. I think you have to watch it to be informed, but I don't think it's helpful, especially if you suffer from anxiety, which I don't. But of course, it is a situation that's making me anxious as well. So I think it's also important, like really be careful about how much media you consume.
Wow, you're delivering some great nuggets just in general and dealing with living at home. So good for you on that, because I think a lot of us are struggling. I mean, for me, I find it very overwhelming especially with the kids, with the homeschooling, they interrupt me every 10 minutes. And, they've now been told, okay, go do your thing. I'm doing a live stream. But normally it's quite difficult to navigate. So I'm kind of overwhelmed with how much to do, and I don't have a routine yet. So I'm working on it. This live stream gives me some structure in my day. Okay, I have Monday, Wednesdays, and 1:30. Got to do this. So I appreciate you sharing that. So let's get right into it. If people, we're here with Margaret talking about job searching during COVID-19. Are people recruiting? Are people hiring? What's going on? What's the state of things right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, quite a lot of people ask me, are companies still hiring? And I'm actually looking for a new position in recruitment as well. So I am reaching the same situation right now. And of course, a lot of companies have put hiring plans on hold, and some companies stopped hiring completely. In fact, the last company I was recruiting for, they have a hiring freeze across multiple functions. But in general, companies are still recruiting. It's just a lot slower. And it's just taking, we really need to be very patient. So I think some industries have been affected more than others. So if you look at airlines, if you look at travel companies, I mean, that's just like nothing is going on.
Sure.
Of course. So these industries, events management, all of that, obviously nothing is happening or not much is happening in those industries. But then when you look at, where companies are recruiting, so, my experience is mostly in the technology sector. All of the big technology companies are absolutely still recruiting. You look at Facebook, you look at Amazon. They've just announced in March they're going to hire 100,000 more people to cope with the demand. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
For corporate functions, right? I imagine some of them would be not just fulfillment. Microsoft. When you look at Microsoft Teams, and in general, the companies that offer remote working. So when you look at Zoom, when you look at
of course,
and Microsoft Teams, etc.
Yeah, I should have bought my Zoom stock. I didn't do that, and it would have been great because I didn't even think of that.
I've been Zoom for a long time, but again, it's quite new for a lot of companies, right? Like some companies are used to working remotely. I think in general, tech companies are used to that, but I think for a lot of companies, they really needed to invest in the infrastructure for their employees to be able to work remotely. So I think online learning companies, I imagine, are doing pretty well, because when you think of the millions of adults and children who are currently out of school, I imagine online learning companies, all the essential kind of businesses, so pharmacies and healthcare and food services, etc. I think these companies are probably still hiring as well. There's actually a really great, I can share a link below. There's a company called Candor. They created this, it's like a live document which shows which companies are hiring and which have a hiring freeze. And that's globally. That's not just for,
right.
or US. And I had a quick look at it, and I was actually quite impressed. It's extremely comprehensive. I looked at some of the companies that I know that they have a hiring freeze, and indeed the document was correct. So I will share that document later under the.
Yeah, that'll be great. Share the document below in the comments. Take a look for it afterwards after we've done this.
Yeah, and if you work, like if you are someone who works for this company, you have it as well. Like a document and up to it. So companies are definitely recruiting, but I think it's going to be a lot slower. And again, some positions, I think if companies can wait, like the lockdown in the UK, the US, I think was like a week or two. It was still very recent. I think we went into lockdown a month ago, and I think companies were in so much shock that no one actually expected that. So I think the hiring has slowed down, but once we have some, I believe that once we have like that companies will start hiring. No one is right now looking. No, you should. I use LinkedIn a lot of those people. And every single day I start a new job, this and that got promoted. So things are happening. Companies are still hiring.
Right. Now, what's interesting is that
it's the video interviews, right? Like it's completely video interviews.
What I was going to say was that similarly in the speaking industry, like obviously, a lot of my events have been canceled or postponed, but I mean, speaking and training is something that's going to happen anyways, virtually, in the future. So people are still, as a speaker, I'm teaching my speaker clients to do a lot of groundwork and talk to people, and it's slower, but you're still booking for stuff in the fall and next year, so you can still make things happen for yourself. Similarly for your career, like there's lots of stuff that's going on. So I think that's really important. It looks like a lot of people are sharing some really great insights here. So why don't we dive into? So what are some of the tips for people when they're trying to actually career search during COVID? What are some of the things that you are seeing or should be doing?
It's not just for COVID. I think what COVID has caused is going to be a lot more competitive, because look at the millions of people who've lost their jobs. I mean, look at America, right? Like in the New York Times, I think said that unemployment rate is estimated between 13 and 14%. I'm not sure what the number in the US is, but when you look at all of the people who've been laid off, it's going to be a lot more competitive. I think, don't panic if you're looking forward. I think you have to be prepared. One thing that is always very obvious
should be doing.
Think about the problems that companies are facing and be ready to offer solutions. Because the people that hired prospective employers, that you have the skills and experience that they need, and that you can solve the problems that they potentially have. So, I always recommend to people that they create a list of target companies, but don't just apply online. Create a list of target companies that interest you, that have the jobs that interest you, and try to connect with people there, whether it's hiring managers directly, with these recruiters. Try to reach out to them, try to connect with them, and you want to stay on the radar. If you are someone who is interested in a specific company, sign up for job alerts. You might want to try to conduct some informational interviews with people working for these companies. Just to find out. You don't have to pester anyone, right? These people might be at home, homeschooling their 5 kids, so it could be. I don't expect an immediate response. But I've also noticed that during this whole crisis, people are so much more likely to help you. We're all in this together. Some of us better than others, right? But we are all in this together. This is affecting everyone. So people are, in general, I've noticed that people are really willing to help. So if you're someone who needs to, look for, I would say definitely create a list of target companies and decision makers, whether it's hiring managers or recruiters. And also, make sure that people who have worked with you know that you're looking for. We are not saying that we're looking for work.
Right.
But a lot of the best jobs, in fact, a lot of jobs in general, they come through networking.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. I mean, I can tell you.
I need to move a little bit. Anyway,
I see the sun in your face. You okay?
No, I'm fine. Very, very right. Anyway, that's fine. So yes, creating target organizations would be important, and also make sure that people who have worked with you know that you're looking, and be very specific about what you're looking for. Because if someone, I got a lot of random requests on LinkedIn, like, XYZ, I can help. But that's really good like that. You know, they haven't, a lot of these people, they haven't even looked at my profile. They did. They wouldn't be contacting me about jobs in industries I've never recruited in. But if you've actually done some research on the organization or the specific person, and if you are very specific about what is it that you're looking for, and especially if you contact people who have worked with you.
Hey, Margaret, sorry to interrupt. It sounds like people are having trouble hearing you, so I'm just trying to look at that. I can hear you. Let me just do a sound check if you can talk for a bit. Because see, when I look at, so I check on my phone, I can hear you. It's good. But people are commenting they can't hear you, and I'm not sure why. So you may want to just check your Wi-Fi status.
Fine.
Yeah, they're saying that's a bit broken up. So I hear you fine though. So I'm not sure what the difference is. And on my phone I hear you too. So can you just check a little bit to see if there's anything there from your Wi-Fi sample?
Can everyone hear me right now?
Well, what I do is I can hear you when you're talking, and then I check on my phone and I can hear you too. So you guys have the feed there, right? But people are saying they can't hear. So if people could comment right now and let us know if you can hear her or not. Otherwise, maybe you can check your sound settings again, or maybe raise the volume. Maybe that'll help. I can hear you. People are commenting they can't hear you. I'm not sure why. So you may want to just check your Wi-Fi status. You want to adjust the sun thing? Go for it. You can adjust that. That's fine. Okay, and while she's doing that, so I see some feedback. People, Elizabeth said there's background noise, and I mean I can hear myself really, really loudly. It's harder to hear you. So you're cutting out a little bit. So yes, someone's saying it's garbled and echoey like it's underwater, and I think that's from your end too. I think I'm not sure why that is. So
I can hear an echo, but anyway, I don't know.
You can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Yeah.
No, when you're talking, sometimes it's a little bit echoey. It's broken up. So I see. Yeah, but people can't hear. Okay. Let me just see if I can do something. Okay. Feel free to share more advice because I'm capturing the video anyways, and hopefully they'll be able to hear you. But I just want to make sure we can deal with this in a second.
So yeah, another piece of advice would be to leverage LinkedIn and also make sure that you open to opportunities on the platform. Resource right now. Recruiters are using LinkedIn companies. Yeah, that's actually come back. I don't know.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Hopefully it's a little bit better. It turns out my son had some noise and he was watching a video. I was like, no, you gotta turn this off. So
no, the background noise, but let's hope it's fine. Let's hope it's fine now.
Okay, perfect. There's people here. Keep commenting. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have any questions are really the way to go because again, she's got really good. She's got a lot of expertise that she can share. So I know I interrupted you. I'm sorry. You may want to.
I was saying, think about the problems companies are facing and be ready to offer some solutions. So, like what are the organizations you are interested in? What kind of problems do they have? How can you offer solutions? Who can you connect with inside those organizations to help them? So leverage LinkedIn as well and make sure that you also are open to new opportunities on LinkedIn. So I think most people are aware of the fact that on LinkedIn, you can, it's in your privacy settings, you can show that you're open to new opportunities. So recruiters in any organization, apart from the organization you are working for, kind of will be able to see what kind of opportunities you are actually interested in. And also relationship building right now has moved to online due to the whole coronavirus crisis. So I just find, LinkedIn is super active right now. So make sure that you're active on LinkedIn, whether it's looking for jobs on LinkedIn, whether it's commenting on posts that are relevant to your area of expertise, whether it's blogging or creating your own content or just connecting with people. So definitely leverage LinkedIn. And again, you want to make sure that you drive traffic to your profile, but also that your LinkedIn profile is quite strong. So that means a strong headline section. Like, don't put in your headline section open to new opportunities. You can mention that in your title, but not in your headline, because no recruiter will be looking for you by open to new opportunities. So you might want to make sure that your profile contains all the keywords that are listed in the job descriptions. So what are the specific keywords listed on the job descriptions? What are the titles of the roles that you are interested in? And you would want to make sure that you have specific keywords in your summary section, in your headline section, and also in your work experience section. Make sure, and that goes both for your LinkedIn and your resume, that you have enough specific, tangible achievements, because one of the biggest mistakes I see on both resumes and LinkedIn is that people have like a long list of responsibilities, but I can't actually tell as a recruiter how good you are at the job. So sometimes I can see 20, 30 resumes, and honestly, they all look pretty much the same.
Sure. So, everyone is hardworking. Everyone has great interpersonal skills. Yeah. How do you set yourself apart?
Yeah, everyone is a great team player, and they're really enthusiastic. So these are really cliched keywords. Like, don't even bother saying that you're energetic and enthusiastic and whatever, because that's what you're going to demonstrate in an interview. But on your resume, on your LinkedIn, you want to have the hard skills listed. Like, what can the recruiter be looking for? If they look for someone with your expertise, what are the specific keywords that they will be looking for? And make sure that those are included on your resume and as well on your LinkedIn profile. And I think this is now a good time actually to prepare. Like, even if your job is safe for now, right? Because no one knows what's going to happen. This is a really good time, I think, to prepare. So make sure that you're not caught, unprepared. So what happens if you lose your job next week? Is your resume ready? Are you gonna be prepared? Like, start that now. Like, don't panic, but you can definitely prepare now. You always want to be prepared for the worst. I mean, of course, expect the best, but you want to be prepared for any kind of eventuality. Like, we can all lose our jobs in the current climate. So I think now it's a good time to work on your resume, work on your LinkedIn profile, network with other people, connect with other people, create a list of target companies, so that you are prepared when that happens, because we all know it can take months to find the right position. Of course, it also very much depends on your level of experience and your job and your location. Of course, all of these variables are there, but it can take months, right? So like, at least you want to do that groundwork right now. And I think personal branding right now is more important than ever. I think it's going to be hugely competitive in the months to come. And like, you tell me what you think, but like, what shows up when someone Googles your name? What happens if they look on your LinkedIn profile? Like, what impression are they going to get from looking at your online media? So the way that you show up online really matters. And if you want to stand out online, start getting involved online. So whether it's blogging on medium.com or LinkedIn or engaging, that's I believe that's how you're going to win in this market. Actually, Bobby, that's your expertise. Like, what else would you add in terms of the personal branding, especially now during coronavirus crisis?
Well, I think that it's a perfect time for people to think about what their brands are, and maybe even do a reshift of what their values and focus is going to be. So if you want to transition, you have to kind of look at your brand and say, well, what is it right now and where I want to go, and you can adjust. So a lot of people are working on their LinkedIn profiles, they're working on coming up with a content strategy. I'm now coaching a few people on how to actually really understand their brand currently, because your brand changes as you do. As if you go through life, you change. So if you haven't done any brand work for like 5 years, now is the time to actually understand it better in terms of where you are and where you want to go. So I will always tell people to go through the whole process of diving into their values, their skills, their passions, their interests, their hard skills, technical skills, and get a sense of where they're at, and then decide, okay, now what do I want to design for my brand and target where I want to go? Because depending on the target and the audience, then you can put together the right brand and the right content to put out there for people.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It has to be relevant to the type of job you're looking for, because it's not to be active on LinkedIn and just share some irrelevant status updates. It actually should be relevant to what you're actually interested in, so that people can see you as that expert in a specific area. So even you can leave some thoughtful comments on specific
Sure.
either other influencers. You can even reshare a post of someone else, but leave your comments. Make sure that you let them know what your opinion on that is. So that's also one of the ways that you can drive people to your profile on LinkedIn. But that's why it's so important that if someone looks at your profile, that it's not just like a really basic profile, because that's just because LinkedIn says your profile is complete doesn't mean it's optimized.
Well, I mean, there's having a strong static profile, but then there's the actual active, dynamic, engaging profile. So one big thing a lot of people don't do that they should do is actually comment on other people's stuff. So you go to the feed, spend an hour. I mean, we're all home now, so even an hour a day if you can do it. Spend an hour going through the feed, reading people's stuff, and commenting in a way that demonstrates your expertise, and that's going to impress people for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I want to add is people are now saying that they can hear you clear. So there's like Beth says, yay, and Kathy says, yes, and Elizabeth says, yes, that's better. So that's good news.
Right.
And Beth has a question. She says, in an employer's market, is it okay to negotiate salary, terms, benefits, etc.?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely. And I think, okay, it depends on the sector you are in, because if you are, I've had clients in, say, working like public services, public sector, and often they have a specific salary bracket. And actually, I don't really think you can negotiate there necessarily. Like, typically, the salary is given at the start. You might not be able to negotiate, but honestly, in most cases, you absolutely can. Even if it's a crisis, if an employer is making you an offer, you clearly have something that other candidates do not have. So you clearly have something, like you clearly bringing something that they really need. So you can definitely try to negotiate your salary. I frankly always try to negotiate my salary, because you have to remember, once you are in, it's going to be very difficult to negotiate a substantial increase. That's been my experience in most organizations. I'm sure there are some nice exceptions, but in general, it's very important to negotiate that good starting salary. So and again, when you are trying to negotiate a salary, they don't really care that you need more money to pay your mortgage, right? It's more like, what can you bring? How much value can you bring? And try sell them on that value again. So whatever skills and whatever experiences you have that led them to make you an offer, that's again what you need to emphasize. What skills you're bringing, how much value you're going to add. And always, when you negotiate a salary, I think it's good to ask for a range, because if you mention a specific number, like say you say I'm looking for 85,000 as an example, you 1,000 more, like you just need, you're gonna get that or less. Whereas if you mention, currently looking for a range between, say, 85 and 95, you're likely to get more. So it might be a good idea to mention the range, but also do some research first, right? Because it's good. There are many, payscale.com and Glassdoor. You can definitely try to do some research, speak to recruiters who might be able to advise you. It's a good idea to know what the going range is, for roles for someone with your area.
Hey, it's interesting. It reminds me of a story I want to share quickly, which is when I left my MBA and I went into my first job in brand marketing, I got a job offer, and I gave them a range. I said, I want from here to here, and they gave me actually right at the very top of that range. And I was like, wow. And then I was trying to decide, do I negotiate or not? I don't know. And I talked to all my friends, and most people said you should negotiate. But one friend said, Bobby, if you're happy, just say yes and be happy. I'm like, oh, interesting. But let me tell you what happened though. So I got out there, started working, and then one of my friends was in HR. And she said, Bobby, number one, I'm in HR. You should always negotiate, because if they like you, make an offer, they're not going to give you their absolute best offer right off the spot. Never. But she said, let me go back and find out where you are, because she said and she came back to me a week later and said, Bobby, you're gonna love this or hate this, but we made 20 offers, and the top 5 people of the top 20 offers, they had room to negotiate base salary. Everyone else could have negotiated something else, like a sign bonus or something else, but the top 5 probably could have negotiated base salary, and you were ranked number 1. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And so for my next job, did I negotiate? Heck to the yes, every single time.
Yeah, I think if you get exactly what you're asking for, that's fine. Just say yes. It's great. But I don't think I think you can also annoy someone if they give you what you're asking for, and then suddenly you ask for a lot more. Unless something has changed and you have another competitive offer.
Sure.
I think maybe you should just accept, because you also don't want to annoy them.
Well, I mean, it's not like I would say, give me 50% more. I would just say, hey, listen, that's great. Are you able to provide an extra thing here and something small, because
Yeah.
you do know that every single offer is not the absolute best offer that they give to begin with.
Absolutely.
So.
Sometimes, again, maybe not in large organizations, but sometimes you might be able to negotiate, a different bonus or a sign-on bonus or, number of vacation days. Again, large organizations typically not, because it's set for everyone. But you might be able to negotiate it in a smaller or medium-sized organization. I mean, there's always something to negotiate.
Yeah, there's always creative ways to negotiate. In fact, when I got to my next job in brand marketing, I negotiated everything, and they said no, no, no to just about everything, until finally they actually gave me an extra a week of vacation. I'm like, okay, that's great, and then I got that, and so then I started. So you can do that. Let's move on to because I want to make sure if people have questions, we're talking to Margaret. She's an expert in job searching, recruiting, and how to deal with the COVID virus. If people have questions with her, please answer below, and they'll be there in the replay. You can certainly answer them or tag her on that. But what are some things that people are hesitant about when it comes to, like, how is COVID affecting the way people their mindset is when it comes to job searching?
I think the main thing, I think a lot of people think that nobody's hiring right now, so they're not trying to find something right now. I see, I've had so many people saying, "Oh, but nothing is happening. That's why I'm not even looking." I mean, if you are pretty happy in your job, yeah, maybe I wouldn't necessarily look for a job right now. I probably would wait until better times come. But there are so many people who are not even doing anything because they think, oh, I just need to wait, until that ends. But I think that could be even worse.
Right.
Now, if you are actually serious about finding something, start now, and be prepared to exercise extreme patience. I think companies are recruiting, but I think the interview process, mind you, would be on video. I think it take longer because hiring someone is definitely a risk. Maybe the start dates are going to be pushed as well. So that I think the start dates actually, in many cases, potentially might be postponed. I guess not every job could necessarily be done from home. A lot of them can be, but not every single job. And it's just going to be a lot more competitive. So I think, start now. Don't assume that companies aren't recruiting, that there's just no point looking. I think people who are persistent will win that race. And it might be that all of these activities that you do, like every week, updating your LinkedIn and being active on LinkedIn, making sure that your resume is updated and having some kind of networking conversations, it might be 2 months before it's going to bring results.
Right.
It's not immediate,
You have to be patient.
But you have to be patient. Yeah, you have to be patient. And I think, as you said earlier, it's also a good time to plan, like, what do you want the rest of your career to look like? And, I do appreciate that there might be people who just need to get any job they can right now just to bring some cash in. That's absolutely fine. But if you're in a position that you don't need the job like next week, that actually you've got more time to think, am I actually enjoying what I'm doing? Would I be happy doing that for the next 20 years? So this is actually really a great time to look at your personal brand and look at your career goals and, how do you want to live the rest of your life? Like, what's your ideal day like? What would you, if you could think of your perfect day at work, what would it look like? And I think now it's a good time to just start thinking about it, which often we don't have that time to think, if you just get up early and go to work and look after your kids and, you just don't have that time.
I'm curious if you've seen anyone use creative methods to make themselves stand apart from everybody else, whether it's through a resume or even their brand or things people are doing more creatively to kind of stand out. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, I think, okay, so first, in terms of standing out on your resume, having some specific, I'll mention a few things, actually. So first, in terms of resume, it might seem that it's difficult to make yourself stand out. Actually, it's really not. I remember sometimes seeing 200 resumes for one position, and the really strong resumes really stand out. So ideally, on a strong resume, you would have a headline, you will have a strong summary section, which is like concise description of what the value that you can offer to the employer. You have all of the right keywords, Again, there's no point just stacking your resume with keywords. You just need to have the right level of keywords and how you've used those skills. You need to have some specific tangible achievements. So like, how did you save money? How did you make money? Have you done anything to improve the process or improve the procedure? Again, having those numbers on your CV, on your resume, that on your LinkedIn as well, that's definitely much easier to make yourself stand out. getting a referral from someone, again, it helps. So many jobs are filled through networking. So if you can try to get a referral inside of the organization. So again, look at your LinkedIn and see who do you know within a company that you're interested in working for. And if you don't know anyone personally, do you know anyone who knows of someone? And you can see the second level connections on LinkedIn. So trying to get a referral into the organization, trying to get some just in general, even having those informational interviews. I think if you have some information, such as some insider information about working there, that can really make you stand out in your application, because you can potentially mention, like, let's say you find out, what a specific company is struggling with. So let's say in recruitment, right? Like, let's say I was interested in a specific company, and maybe I find out that they really need someone with specific expertise of hiring that in a specific market, or someone who has experience of implementing applicant tracking system. If I know that that's a challenge right now, I could mention that in my application, therefore increasing my chances of getting an interview. And also, sometimes, again, maybe not an application stage, maybe more at an interview stage, but how people can make themselves stand out is having some kind of maybe project or maybe presentations. Like, I read this really great article a while ago about someone who was interested in working, I think it was Airbnb. And this woman did a lot of research. She actually spoke to a lot of customers from Airbnb, and she did some analysis. She prepared that. She put the PowerPoint presentation together with some specific, kinds of customer insights from her conversations with the customers, and she sent it to Airbnb. And they were so impressed that she got the job later.
Wow.
So again, how can you provide some proof that you can do the work? So maybe it's a project. Again, you might not be able to do it necessarily before the interview, but after the first conversation, definitely having some kind of plan. For a lot of people applying for sales positions, they will prepare the 30, 60, 90-day plan. How do you plan for success within the first 90 days?
Right.
But I think at an application stage, it's really having a very strong resume. It's making sure that you network as much as possible, that you speak to some people every single week, that you connect with people, and all of that will bring results.
And you mentioned something interesting, which was the information interviews. I mean, given that we're all at home, this is the perfect time to actually reach out to maybe set up some information calls with people, just talk about the industry, talk about business, and just connect with people. And I think that because people are more open now, there's less competition. They're more open to conversations during this time. I think that's something that's important too.
Yes, but I think you have to do it in the right way. So I actually spoke to someone recently and said, I'm not getting any responses from my emails, to these people. Like, no one responds. I go, well, send me. I don't know what send me the email. And basically, he was sending this email. He was kind of almost demanding. Well, I wasn't rude, but it was more like a demand for a chat. And he mentioned in the email what he wanted to find out, but honestly, it just looked like if it's working for a competitor and spying. It was just like, like you can't do that, So I think the best way to do that, if you are interested in a specific company, send them a personalized message. So maybe you can say, I come across your profile on LinkedIn. I'm really impressed with and you mention something on the profile that interests you.
Sure.
On the LinkedIn, look at their posts and activity, right? Like, see what kind of things they post, what kind of things they comment on. Maybe they have on a video, maybe they've spoken at an event. Again, you might want to refer to something that you've seen on their profile or you found about them on the internet. And you can just say, I'm really interested in working in this industry, or I'm interested in making a move or into this company or to this industry. And I would love it if you could spend, 5-10 minutes on the phone with me just to answer a few questions. I'm sure you're busy right now, but if you're open to a quick chat, please let me know. Something along those lines. Again, don't expect people to respond immediately, because they might be at home trying to homeschool the kids and trying to hold down their job or looking for another one. But and again, not everyone will respond. Don't take it personally. You can send the best thing. You can have you could be Richard Branson, and still not everyone will respond to you. So just don't take it personally. But yeah, exactly. People will be much more open, in my opinion, to have informational interviews now. And again, make it quick. Like, I have 10 minutes of your time.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, if someone told me, I'd love to spend an hour talking to you, I'm like, no, I probably wouldn't be willing to do that. But if someone sent a personalized message and said, I'd love to have a 10-minute chat just to ask you some questions about working in the industry, I would never say no. Why would I?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're coming to the end of our broadcast, and Margaret's here sharing some great insights on how to job search and get out there and get a new job even during this COVID-19 crisis. If you have questions for her, be sure to comment below, tag her, and ask questions even after this replay.
You have loads of time tomorrow.
Exactly. After this is over, we're all just going to check comments and post stuff, and this is a chance for you to share your expertise. And so I only do that.
Send me LinkedIn connection request as well.
Yeah, and what's the best way to get in touch with you, Margaret?
Just send me a message on LinkedIn. I mean, my website is interview-coach.co.uk. So my email is margaret@interview-coach.co.uk. But you can just send me a LinkedIn message and I will definitely respond. So
very nice. That's great. Well, for everyone else who's joined the call, if you have more questions, comment below. If you like what you've heard today, share this on your own feed and add a comment. You can also tag people during the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. I'll be doing my broadcast on Mondays and Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless it changes because my kids' schedule keeps changing. But I'll let people know. On Wednesday, I'll be interviewing Michelle Romanow, the Dragon's Den star, to talk about how business can thrive while staying at home. So she's a big advocate for staying at home. And Margaret, I want to thank you for your time, for sharing with us. And please, people, connect with her. Let her know if you have any questions for her. And enjoy your week and do your best. Stay home, stay safe, stay connected, and let's stay informed.
Stay sane as well, everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I think that we need that, right?
Absolutely. Let's hope it's just a few more weeks before it's back to whatever the new normal is.
All right, and sorry, one more thing I'll say. For those of you who missed some of the parts where you couldn't hear Margaret, according to my video, it was fine. So I'm going to look back, and I think it's going to be okay. But if it's not, I'm going to check the video, and if I can, I'll maybe upload it to YouTube and share a link later on. All right, so everyone just stay close to that because I'm sure it's going to be fine. All right?
Great.
All right, everyone, so long. Take care, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.